welcome back to another models by me. This time we'll be unboxing the He177 He177 by Revell. First things first, hit that subscribe button to keep track of all the latest videos coming out. And specifically, if I do hit the 500 subscriber mark, I will do a build video on this thing. It'll probably be done in about 10 parts, but I'll be doing it. Right, so we'll do this in the usual manner. We'll have a look at the outside of the box, then the contents, then the instructions, and then the sprues. So, brief history on this plane. It first flew in November 1939 before finally being introduced in 1942. And then, of course, finally retired at the end of the war. This was Germany's attempt at making a long-range, or one of the many attempts to make a long-range bomber capable of striking deep into Soviet Russia. I suppose with a bit of tweaking, it might have made America. Might. This was also one of the few bombers the Germans had that had a very similar payload to the European heavy bomber designs. And to a certain degree, you could say this is a 4-engined bomber. What I mean is a 4-engine, it's clearly only got 2 engines. Well, unless you already know the history of this thing. To try and get as much power out of... Well, they needed an airplane with engines that had lots of power, but unfortunately the engines didn't exist or was just not available. So the solution... In these little nacelles, strap 2 of the, I think it was the 601B engines together and put them on a single crankshaft, and all that goes through into the propeller. It worked. Unfortunately, also acquired the unfortunate nicknames of either the Reichleiter or the Luftwaffe-Leiter. Yeah, 2 engines that already produce quite a bit of heat with insufficient cooling systems, and they're right next door to each other. Yeah, these things caught alight a lot. The one thing I didn't realise this thing was also used for, or was supposed to be used for, I don't think it ever was dive bombing. Why dive bombing? I have no idea. Every German bomber seems to be like, oh, we've got to make this a dive bomber. No, stop with the dive bombing. You've got the Stuka. Just leave it as that. This particular version of the 177, as you can see under the wings, has got the Fritz X bombs. If you're not sure what these are, the old common misconception, these are rocket-powered bombs. No. These are not rocket-powered. They are not rocket-powered in the slightest. What people mistook are rockets are actually just flares, because these are kind of like the world's first guided bombs. Until somebody points out an earlier type. But these are guided bombs, and the bomb aimer would literally keep an eye on it through the bomb aimer scope, and would send controls down, I think it was via wire, down to the bombs, and it would just change the trajectory of it just slightly, just so it can get more in line with the target. These were used, I'm pretty certain when I read it was used against a battleship, and it did take it out of commission, but moderately successful. Alright, let's get the rest of this unboxing video on the way. Starting with the outside of the box. So first off, we got one of the Revell black box designs. So we got a nice big image on the side here, and it literally shows this thing. You could almost say it's like a mini B-29. A super fortress, because it's got a very similar design to it, hasn't it? Skill level 5. I think that's more the number of parts, to be honest. 72nd, 234 parts, and the size of this thing, which is just over 30 centimeters long and over 43 centimeters wide. Let's have a look down the side of the box. So we got all the same information again. The front box art again just there. Keep packaging for later questions. Don't tell me I'm going to have the Revell Inquisition coming along. Did I make this kit? What's the copyright date? What's the barcode number? So many questions. It's like, oh, they done this. So you can store it up like this. So we've got skill level 5 again. The box art and literally all the information. I like it when they do this because if you have all the models lying down like this, there's a good chance you're going to have some of these where the boxes start squishing in on each other if they're stacked like so. Well, you only got this small bit at the top here for a squish. Right, where do I get to? This bit. So skill level 5, box art again, all details again. And this is, yep. Say it with me, all the information again. So yep, hindcore, griff, all the parts, and yeah, tape casualty. And on the back here, we've got some actual artwork of the model. So the full size of this thing with the camouflage, the unique landing gear, the Fritz X, the rear gunner position that can open, the front light steps to get in, and the top remote control turrets. Clue on some of the sprues. Complex model kit for experienced builders. Non-assembled model. Oh, there you go, a bit of history on the plane. Let me zoom out so you can get all the languages in there. There we go, pause to read that. And all the paints that you need. Just advertise, yep, Revell do paints. And some really good glue, I quite like their glues. Right, that's it for the outside of the box. Instruction time. Let's have a look. So we got a nice artwork of the model across the front again. Bit of writing down the bottom here, which says... Can't quite read what it says. There we go. Note the enclosed safety advice and keep safe for later reference. Okie dokie. Camera's not self-focusing. Not reliably at the moment, so look for the instructions, find the part number, use the appropriate tools, wash everything, test fit before gluing, stir your paint up, paint it, scratch off the paint, scratch off the paint before gluing and sticking onto the next piece. If it's small, recommended less than a centimetre. Keep on the sprue and then paint and cut out. It's the first time I've actually read these instructions. I'm not quite impressed. Decals. Spend thank you blurriness. 10 seconds in 30 degrees C or 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Water. 10 seconds later, apply the decal. And then put a varnish over the top. That's the first time I've actually paid attention to these, to all that, and I'm like, I like that. I like this. We got all the various things that good chance we probably will need all of this lot. So we got glue, don't glue, paint, multiples, options, allow stuff to dry, illustration, yeah. Oh, we've got even more. Left side, right side, tape. Decal fixing. And okay, onto the paints. So Revell do what quite literally a lot of companies do, is they'll give you a letter. So if we jump onto, let's jump into the middle here. So it tells you that for the machine gun here, you need to paint it in E and the bomb bay in B. What does E and B mean? Let's go and have a look. So B is dusty grey matte, and it'll give you the Revell colour number. Or E, unlike say Italiari or quite a lot of the other model companies, which will tell you this is the most closest approximation. So for if you want, if pretend that Revell didn't do that, if you wanted that, why do I always pick the word I cannot say? If you want that, then the closest Revell will do to this colour is this number. No. What Revell do is they will tell you to get iron to paint the machine guns. You need iron metallic with that colour again, and it will tell you 3/4 to 1/4 ratio. I don't know whether it's just Revell trying to keep their paint lists smaller, or I'm not sure, but I know a few companies do it. Ethics does it now and again, not often, but they do it. But Revell seems to be the only one that really does the mixing. IOMO2. But yeah, so you've got all the different colours there, and as you saw, that it's colour guided as well. So yeah, so for the propellers here, you've got to paint them in G. It'll tell you which bits to paint. That's why I like some of the simple things like that. It just makes it stand out a bit better. Right, so there we go. Even more paints. And then we've got a sprue guide, a sprue map. So fuselage, wings, extra pieces, bombs, and blanked out pieces, so we don't need to worry about those. Your clear plastic sprue. And pretty much all the interior stuff. Need spare parts? Talk to this company and they will send you spares. Instructions. See what I mean? It's like the seats, the actual seat itself is all in B, the cushion is in K. Oh, some seatbelts come with it? Not sure. But yep, okie dokie, it tells you to put all the decals on. And this is how Revell tell you which decals to put on. So first off, we start with one of the seats, then another one. And then we've got the foot pedals. Got to put the foot pedals on. I'm having flashbacks here to the Revell Catalina, where it was telling you to do one thing and then jump to something completely different, then jump back to the original thing, and then after that bit then go to something completely different before going to the completely different thing. I wonder how bad this is going to be. Sorry, detour. Back onto the subject. So once the foot pedals are done, do the control column. And I got to remember to put the decal onto the front of here. Next, we start putting some of the stuff into the cockpit section. Some of the stuff, because so far none of the stuff we've made goes into this. Build some more of the cockpit section. So we've got the radios at the back here. It's funny, you've got to paint the radios, but the dials are okay. Just glue and paint those all together. Aha! Now for all the pieces that we've made. So step 1, step 2, 3, 4, and the latest in step 6. Glue it all together. Step 8, even more. So we've got to put the dials in, which, ooh, these are in clear plastic. You can tell that because it tells you they're the clear plastic ones. That's interesting. Okay, so what I recommend, that's really bizarre. So hold on, decal 49. I'm trying to do this one-handed while also holding the decal 49. So that's you blurry mess. Okay. 2 lines of 4 with this. So you can either put the decal, it didn't work on this one because that says the exact same. So you got a piece of clear plastic, which okay is quite good because then it gives that glossy appearance. But you got to paint over it to make it metal. So the fact it's in clear plastic would only be useful for the dials. Except you got to put a decal over the front of the dials. I say, especially for this one where there's nothing really to put it behind. Why those are in clear plastic, I don't know. Did they just run out of space on the other sprues? Weird choice. Next, I'm guessing this is the lower section. Oh yeah, we're doing that, aren't we? So we got we done the cockpit section. Okay, technically it's still the cockpit, but it's the glass bit now. Anyway, stop detouring off subject. So you've got to glue this bit onto one of the parts of the clear plastics, as well as gluing. That must be the bomb aimer side. This must be the lower half. And then once we've done that, we then put the machine gun through the front nose section, which is apparently an MG81. I did notice that. Once we've done those two, we then jump back to the cockpit section. Yay! To glue one piece on, which is actually the hose for the machine gun there, funnily enough. And then we glue all that. Well, I would. Okay, glue this into the side of the cockpit after you've painted it, and glue clear plastic onto the sides. I'd probably do the clear plastic first, and then be very careful gluing this bit in. Probably just a bit of glue here and a bit of glue here. Try and avoid glue here because there's a good chance it will fog up into the clear plastic and ruin it. And glue that piece to the outside. I don't know it's the outside because of the dotted line just there. Now for the other side of the cockpit, paint that all up, glue the extra pieces in, paint up some of the dials, and you can see here we're then onto the turrets. Probably a very valid reason because these need to go in before you glue the two sides together. Anyway, so one of the other machine guns, glued them together before jumping to. This must be the aimer's. It's not an actual turret, it's more the gun aimer's sight. Do not glue do not glue that to that, or that to that, but glue that to that. Probably so you can have spinny gun turret, but unless there's a way of linking the sighting turret to the actual gun turret, there's probably no reason to do that. Speaking of gun turrets, 2 MG151s, the 13mm machine guns. Yes, 13mm machine guns. It's the equivalent of a 50 caliber bullet. I think that's 12.7. I'm sure somebody's going to correct me on that. Yeah, the Germans did have them. Another one of the gun turrets. Before we jump onto the tail wheel. Glue the two sides of the tail wheel together and then glue them onto the arm and glue the arm into the frame. Okay. Something completely different, we're gluing the seat together. I think this is the rear gunner's seat. Again, it's probably because you need to have all these pieces made up ready before you glue the two sides of the fuselage together. So there's a reason, I appreciate that. The tail section. I think the other reason is just to let the stuff dry. But okay, we're on the tail section to paint them up and glue the window in. Don't paint anything up, but do glue the window in. So I recommend, where it says to paint this bit, then come down here and just paint both sides down here where the windows are. And there we go. There's the rear gunner seat and the tail wheel to glue in, as well as this piece. Whatever part 53 is for. Then glue the two sides of the fuselage together. That has to go up through the bomb bay behind the cockpit section. If anybody's made this one before, thank you for watching my video. But is it worth gluing that in on that stage or on that stage? I'm thinking this stage, but if it does actually fit into that stage, let me know. It probably could. You just slide it in. So instead of sliding it in like that, as it says, slot it in through the bomb bay like that, and then turn it around so it fits. And speaking of the cockpit section, so okay, it was the top piece. Slot that in carefully before gluing. Then gluing in that piece, and then the machine gun. I will test fit this first because I don't know whether the machine gun will have to go in, or the cannon actually, I think that's a 20mm cannon. Glue that in first before the front nose piece. I think it's that way around. Next, rear machine gun. Oh, it's right there. Okay, that's interesting. So the two parts required for the rear machine gun position, and then you glue it together at this stage. Interesting you did this. And we have an option. Do you want the rear portion open or closed? The bit we were looking at earlier, so the bomb bay goes in, as well as gluing one of the machine gun turrets in. In the little gondola there. Speaking of turrets, we glue one of the top turrets in. And the rest of the turrets on top. Next, it doesn't give you the option at this stage, but I'm going to say this now. If you want landing gear up, don't bother about cutting this bit down. That's why it says landing gear option down here. So option, paint and glue required. Option being landing gear down. If you want it down, you cut along these lines here. I'll probably recommend either like bit of pencil, just pencil A, B, C, D. So later when you say A, B, C, D, you know which way around they should go. Now, if anybody's wondering why it goes A, B, C, D this way and then A, B, C, D that way, because that's flipped upside down. So when you flip it the right way around, kind of a poor analogy, but hopefully you get the impression you're watching. But yeah, it folds it up on itself and looks like that in the end. That's going to take some time. Probably recommend putting a cocktail stick or something in there to try and keep those open. If you want landing gear up, just glue it straight on. Look at what I said. Next, drill a couple of holes in first, and then glue the two wing sections together. Do it for the other wing, and okay. I was about to jump to that, but I'm like, okay, we've gone 32, 33, 35. Wait a minute. Aha! Stage 34. Glue the wings onto the fuselage. Okay, so this is going together. There's a lot. You're still going to have some sub-assemblies on this, but it's literally the parts that need to be done when they can, so you can then glue it when you get to like gluing stuff together. You can just glue it straight on. I appreciate that. Stage 35 times 2. I don't know why it then jumps to reference 7071. Let's have a look. What is stage 7071? Ah! Okay, I don't think it means 71. It means... But no, not stage 70, 71 and 73. That's probably what they're referencing. So we have the option for spinny propellers. So if you want spinny propeller, do not glue the base of the spinner to the grill here. You push that straight through and glue this little nubby bit onto the end, onto this peg. Try to make sure to avoid getting glue from the little cap there onto the radiator. If you're like me and don't care about spinny propeller, glue that to that, that to that, ignore that, and then glue that to that. Stage 36, I can see it coming. Separately fitted propellers. No, I do not like separately fitted propellers. Hopefully there's something to line them up. I don't think there is, but I hope there's something to line them up so you can get all the propellers the right way around. And at the right angle. Stage 36 and 37 are the exact same. I don't see the difference there. I don't think these were counter-rotating, so if one rotated one way, the other one rotated the other way. I know technically counter-rotating is not the right terminology there. That's because if you have, what counter-rotating is you have two banks of propellers on the same shaft. One spins one way and one spins the other. I know some planes they had these spin clockwise and these anti-clockwise. But it just seems odd that it says that's for the right one, that's for the left one, but it's the exact same. You do your research on that one. Glue the exhausts on. And some more of the exhausts. No, it's both sets. Same with the other engine. Step 42. Apologies, I'm not quite sure what that's for. I'm guessing an air intake? Oil cooler? Do it on the other side, and then all the control arms and the counterweights. Okie dokie. Spoilers. Doing it twice. Oh, and glue the clear plastic on. Glue the side, paint the side silver and the back of the light to yellow to represent the light being on, maybe? Interesting. And it says glue the P-tail tube on. Save it till last. I'm not going to snap the thing then. Next, glue the wheels together and wait, this gives you the option for spinny wheels. So do not glue that into that, but place him into there and then glue the two sides of the wheels together. This gives you the option for spinny wheels. Very interesting. Let's glue. Yeah, we're just about to come onto the landing gear because, wait a minute, we've got to do this twice and this twice. And the wheels 4 times. Because to try and accommodate the sheer weight of this plane, the landing gear was split over 2 struts on either side that then folded out up into the wings like that, so, and back out again. And again, if you want landing gear down, you've got to cut the covers in half. Well, technically in 3s. Glue them all on, or if you want landing gear up, just glue it straight on. We're nearly at the end of this bit, folks. Horizontal stabilizers with control arms, good. And the rudder, glue all those together. Regular bombs, this thing has 2 regular bombs on it. Context needed. Context provided. So this bomb bay stays closed, while this one, which is what it's referencing here, you can open. So okie dokie, so these, like, similar to the Wellingtons, where these two, yeah, so it's got one half the bomb bay there and one half there, and the doors open. They're technically open in half because that's one bay and that's the other bay, and yeah, they just open in half. Or you know, just don't want the bomb bays open, just glue them, just glue it all shut. But if you do have them open, glue a bomb rack on, as well as glue bombs to the bomb racks in there, and glue that there. One thing I didn't reference earlier is drill these holes, so you can put that rack on. Another hatch if you want open or closed, make sure it's side, and glue some of the extra pieces on. Some of these I would say to leave off, possibly that one. These other ones you could leave on, I'd find they don't kind of get in the way. That's me personally, but if you want to leave them off till last, recommend that, especially if you're new to this. I'm definitely not new to this, and I'm still recommending leave some of the stuff off. Another aerial, make sure it's at 90 degrees. Don't quite know what it's saying to have it 90 degrees too, but make sure it's at 90 degrees. Something else I'd probably recommend leaving off, because you know you're going to knock it off there. And, oh. So the ladder's trying to get in. Put the arms in, glue the ladder on, or if you want the ladder closed, cut the ladder off, physical steps off, and glue them straight in. Yep, so we got one of the Fritz X bombs. So we've got two sides of the bombs, the nose cap and the control bits at the end. And then all the wings and stuff on this thing. Glue them all together and then onto the struts. You've got to do this 3 times and this only twice. Reason being, that middle strut earlier contains the 3rd bomb. Which then you also got to put decals on. That's nice. The paint guide and oh my, okay, so the paint guide looks good. So we've got 70, 04, 76, 70, so it's good old 70, 71 again. And then we've got 65 and 76. So 76 is the grey cloudy bits, and 65 is the regular. For anybody taking this on first and are completely new to the hobby, paint up the camouflage first, as in the regular blue and the 2 greens on top. Once that's all done, then worry about the grey camouflage, the little mottling splotches all over the place. The decals, some of them are not that clear. Trust me, I'm trying to look at both what's on the camera and what's over here that's off the camera. Yeah, you can see it more clearly on the camera than you can off the camera. But generally quite good. It just gives you, it's got loads of decals, so have fun during the decal stage. But it's quite clear, you've got loads of them and nicely laid out. And then I'm going to leave this flat because yeah, so we've got the same again on the underside, and then option B. Hold on, let me try this again. There we go. Option B. Oh my god. That, kudos to anybody that attempts to do that. Yeah, good luck. Just as a spoilers, I'm doing this one. I do not have the eyesight or the time to do this one, unfortunately. But yeah, that is it for the paint guys, or for the instructions. It does say to paint the normal camouflage first again, and then do all the squiggles on top. But note, you got the cross here, and then you got the squiggle over the cross as well. Yeah, have fun. Good news, everyone. That piece is still in the bag. It's going to stay in the bag. Right. Spruce City. Where do we begin? Let's start with the simplest one. The wings. So, can we get you to focus on the wings, please? That took some effort. So we have nice recessed panel lines, which are not too bad. So potentially, yeah, you can paint this thing up with a paintbrush and not have the detail filled in. I've just noticed there's an actual gap there. Oh, so many model makers just fill that in. Oh, that's an actual gap in the wing. Oh, ooh, that's nice. I like. Rest of the detail is, ooh, look at that. That's nice. And this is literally the upper wing for the other side. Has the light in it. Well, Okie dokie, that's the first side of the wings. Let's have a look at the underside of the wings. Again, very nice detail. Just smooth panel, the smooth plastic. There's no rivet lines or anything. Rivets. That is quite nice there. The landing gear base. So if you're gonna do like the landing gear mid opening, you need to cut this out as well because that's where the wheels physically go. But yeah, that's the inside of the landing gear base there. Just the underside looks like so. Ow! Just a bit of plastic stabbed me. It's normally the Chaos models that do that. I don't know why an airplane does it to me. So yeah, quite nice. Now, what else the blurry sprue vision are we going to do? Let's have a look at the cockpit section. Oh, what did I do that for? There we go. All the levers there. Ooh, very nice, very nice. Seats that come with seat belts as well. Interesting. The horizontal stabilizers are very nice. Machine guns. Parts. That I'm pretty certain is the tail wheel. Yep, the tail wheel's about as big as the machine gun is. Oh, the radios as well. Which I think was that way around. Oh, you could almost look at that and figure out how to use the real thing. Almost. Very nicely detailed. Very nicely detailed. Is that? Can't quite make it. You can make it out better on the camera. Yeah, that's cooling holes in the bowl. Ooh. I would say anything on the underside? Not a lot, because a lot of this wouldn't be visible. Except for the steps there, which... Oh. Yeah, okay then. Oh, okay. Very nicely detailed. Very nice in there. Go for this one. Starting with the Bombay, which... Oh, look at that. That's nice. That's nice in there. So those are the like tail fins for the bombs. That's for the rear landing gear. Oh, those radiators look good. Oop. Be careful painting those because there's a chance you might lose that detail. Oh, that's nice. So if you hear the cardboard being rubbed on, I've got a dog sleeping next to me and she's twitching in her sleep. Oh, sleepy doggy. That's all for the wheels. And possibly the propellers as well. Okay, that's nice if that's, yeah, because that's the same part then. The propellers, and yes, pun spoilers. Looks like, yep, there's little tabs, so they will all go in the right way round. That's good. Propellers, and base plate for the spinner. Okie dokie, so you put the spinner onto the base plate there. And then that notch, which you can just about make out there, literally hooks on top of here. Okay, that's interesting. A little bit awkward, but interesting. Don't quite know what those pieces go to. Can't remember. Bombay covers. Not too bad. Ow, ow, get my finger stuck in the sprue. Okay, let's have a look at the underside of U. So, yep. Overall, the detail on this kit is amazing. The landing gear struts, which I think, if I saw correctly, had brake lines. No, okie dokie, so possibly a little bit extra you can put there. Landing bay covers. Quite nicely detailed there, and go smooth there, but that probably would be smooth on the outside. So, oh, this kit is, score-wise, this thing's going to score high. Oh, ow, ow, ow. I should not have moved. I was comfy, and now I'm not comfy. Okay, next brew. So these are the bomb racks for the Fritz X. So, not too bad. A little flashy, but not too bad overly. Speaking of the Fritz X, let's have a look at these ones. So, Bombay covers. So I can imagine, depending on which version you're making, this brew would be swapped out for just more bombs to put into here. But there's the so-called rockets, or the flares in the back. And the surfaces, there's nose cones. Yeah, all very, very nice. And some recessed rivet lines there, very nice. Don't know whether rivets or screws, to be honest, but very, very nice. And then the last one here. Well, I say the last one, the last of the small sprues. Machine guns. Yeah, all very nice. Anything on the interior? Oh, there's a seat there. Now the fuselage. So let's have a look at the interior of the fuselage first. Bit basic, not much there. Some nice lines there, and the same with the tail. Yeah, quite nice. Ah, there's a load of dials there. Those, I could say, would definitely require decals rather than the other pieces, which, like the instrument panel, which is clear plastic and has a decal. This needed a decal. That needed a decal, not the well, and the control column. One extra bit of detail I missed on the interior here. Revell copyright 2000. This kit is 23 years old. Wow. Wowzers, wowzers. Let's have a look at the wheels before looking at the outside of the fuselage. And not bad, not bad. Some people are probably going to question, hold on, there's raised panel lines on a wheel. That shouldn't happen. Should be grooves cut out for tread. No, some of the tyres were actually done this way round. And very nice, very nice. Bombs. Show off. It's trying to be all flashy. Not too bad, bit basic. And then the actual fuselage. Again, not too bad. The panel lines are, yep, they're quite nice. Yeah, everything on this kit is really, really nice. Now the camera's stopped trying to fall over and the clear plastic is out. Let's have a look at it. So, clear plastic does not look that clear, unfortunately. Right, there's the cockpit section. Oh. On the plus side, if it's not going to stay in position, it did keep its focus. No, there's the focus. Okay. Exactly what I thought. It is curved, so the refraction is going to play a major problem with this, but not too clear, unfortunately. The top turret's quite clear. Rear turret section. Of course, that bit's clear because that's a hole, but not too bad. The bit around the front, around the top even. Okay, not too bad. I hope this bit here is supposed to be painted and that's not a window, because yikes. And I did see the instrument panels. Where are they hiding again? There they are. There's one of them at least. Again, just to emphasise more the reason as to why. I think that's the other one there. Okay. Let me package all this lot off. Piece fell off. Let me package all this lot back up again. Make sure I've still got all the pieces. And then my final thoughts. So, final thoughts on this kit. It's a lovely kit. It's really well done. And for a kit that's 23 odd years old, the level of detail with it, it is beautiful. A lot of the interior detail is there, a lot of the exterior detail is there. Overall, it's a really, really nice kit. Skill level for this, in my opinion, 1 being like beginner, entry level, and 5 being like a master or an expert model maker. I think this is more than a 3. 3 is intermediate, so you have. So 1's like entry level, 2's beginners, or entry level, easy, intermediate. So like the Airfix Spitfire would be a 2. 3 would be like some of the bigger planes. Again, keeping with Airfix, I'll probably say a Blenheim. 4 being you need quite a few models under your belt. You need to know what you're doing and being careful with some of the stuff, or like photo etch or resin parts start making an appearance. 5 being like experts and masters. You've done this your whole life. This seems, I would say this is going to be a 4 for skill level. There's a lot here. There's some of it which could be done better. There's other parts which they've probably done as well as they could have, but other parts that could definitely do better with, or provide additional parts for sprues. Okay, there's more plastic. Looking at the landing gear covers, for example. But yeah, I firmly believe skill level 4 for this one. Interior detail. It's nice. The level of detail on the interior is amazing. It's really, really nice to see that Revell have put that attention to detail there. In all but a few places. The instrument panel. Why clear plastic? That's not to detract from the detail factor, but why? But the dials that were down the side here, they needed something else. They need something other than you've got to paint them yourselves. No. Then they need something else. You're going to struggle to see through it because most of this glass cannot be seen through, which is a shame because the level of detail in it is amazing. So I'm going to say interior detail 4.5. Very easily could have been a 5. Very easily could have been a 5. But because of this bit and some other questionable choices, 4.5. Exterior detail. This one's a little bit harder. I had to think quite a bit for this one. Because it is really, really nice exterior detail. Something like the radiators, the bombs, all the panel lines are really, really nice. But I'm pretty certain panels aren't glued onto a frame. I would expect to see some form of riveting or screws or something. Which for this, it's too smooth. It needed that extra little thing. The panel lines are really nice. The fact that the ailerons and the flaps are not one piece, there was actually a gap in between them. That's really nice. The radiators are very nicely detailed. But it just needed the rivets or the screws. These panels have to come on and off somehow for maintenance. There's no sign of how they did that. So unfortunately, exterior detail, I'm going to have to give it a 4. These are my own thoughts and opinions, of course. Yours may vary. But let's just give this a grand total of 8.5. Which I think is literally only just behind the FW189. But this is definitely a lovely kit though, this one. So if you like the video, hit that like button. Comment below, have you made any of these before? Is there any traps to look out for? Anything specifically that could be done better in your opinion? And subscribe for more videos. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks. Bye.